Okay, so just now we're going to look at solving trig equations with one solution. So this is a lot more straightforward than what you'll be asked in exams. We're just actually looking for one solution. There's some little quirks that I'm missing out at the moment, some little things that we need to look at later, but the main thing we're focusing on is trig equations with one solution. So this is a skill builder basically. So to start off with, you just treat these like they are normal equations. We need to get all the x term on the left hand side and all the numerical values on the other side. Now 2 next to the functions means 2 times the functions. So how do you get rid of that 2? We do the opposite of multiplying by 2. So we divide the left hand side by 2. If we divide the left hand side by 2, we have to divide the right hand side by 2. And we end up with sin x equaling a half. And from the last video, you now know that you take the inverse of both sides. And we then got sine to negative 1, 1/2. And if you watched the last video, you'll know that x therefore equals 30 degrees. Basically what this is asking is, when is our sine curve at a height of a half? When is our sine curve at equal to a height of a half? And we're saying at 30 degrees on that curve, 30 degrees along the x-axis. That's what's being asked, and that's how you find it out. Okay, so we'll go into that, how it relates to the graph a little bit more later. Let's look at the core skills here again. So again, 4 cos x minus 5 equals minus 3. So what's value of x? All right, so let's solve for x. So what we do is we want to get rid of minus 5 first, because it's a reverse BIDMAS when solving equations. And we add 5 to both sides to get rid of the minus 5. That leaves me with 4 cos x is equal to 2. And then what we do is we want to get rid of this 4. So we say divide by 4, because it's 4 times cos x, so the opposite of multiplying by 4 is to divide by 4. And we get cos x equals 2 over 4. Now you could simplify it, so it's 1/2. So what we're doing is we're wanting to find out what x is, so we take the inverse of cos. It's 2 over 4, or 1/2. I'm going to write down 1/2, because 2 over 4 simplified becomes 1/2. And then we put that into our calculator, and then we get 60 degrees, or you know your exact values, but that's for something else. So a little bit more tricky. Actually, something to note here, guys. For sin and cos functions, you only get a solution if the value here is between -1 and 1. Otherwise, you'll get an error in your calculator. However, for tan, it doesn't matter so much. So, again, we need to get tan x on its own. So to get rid of it, we reverse BIDMAS. We need to get rid of the +4. To get rid of +4, we take away 4. So it becomes 2 tan x equals 3. And then we need to get tan x on its own. So we get rid of this 2. This is 2 times tan x. So the opposite of multiplying by 2 is to divide by 2. So tan x equals 3 over 2. Which is bigger than 1. This only works because it's a tan function. Take the inverse of tan on both sides, and then we get tan 3 over 2, like so, because we're going to get x on its own, and we get to find that x is equal to, hang on a second, just need to put it to calculator, 0. And the inverse of tan 3 over 2 becomes 56.31 to 2 decimal places.